friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm sitting down, we are talking about my most long wearing foundations, the ones that just seem to really last on me. Before I get started, don't forget I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for you guys. If you like this video while you're watching it, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. It really does help my channel out. And other than that, if you're excited and you want to hear about some long wearing foundations, then let's go ahead and get started. Couple things before we actually get started. I am not someone who thinks that only foundation is the only part of your makeup routine that helps your makeup last a really long time. A couple weeks ago, I did a heat-proof makeup routine that I show you all the steps and tips and tricks and a lot of products that I use to just really lock in my makeup and make it last for a really long time. That one was called through like heat-proof makeup because it does last through heat, but also I use those same techniques and same products if I just know my makeup is going to be on for like a super long time. Also, if this is your first video of mine, welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on it and watching. I hope you like what you see and subscribe and stick around. But I wanted to just give you like a little bit of information about me. I have pretty combo skin. It's pretty much dry everywhere, but in my T-zone, by the end of the day, my T-zone gets so oily, especially my chin right here. So these are all foundations that I have found wear pretty nicely on the rest of my face as well as my chin. I mean, honestly, by the end of the day, my makeup always breaks up. I don't have like a foolproof product or technique that makes it look perfect all day long. That's just not possible. Also, all of these are going to be medium to full coverage type foundations. That is just what I prefer on my skin. I have a lot of redness in my skin, a lot of active acne all of the time. I always have at least one zit going. I don't understand, but yeah, I feel like I'm just coming to accept it at this point in my life. And then as a result of that, I have quite a bit of acne scarring too. So I've got a lot to cover up and I like a perfected base. If you are someone who has freckles, redness, acne, and you do not mind to cover that stuff up, more power to you. I wish I was like that, but I like to just cover it all up and give myself a blank canvas. So if that's not really your jam, I totally understand if I catch you in the next video because these are all going to be a little bit more matte, medium coverage to full coverage foundations. This isn't really a ranking style. I'm not going to say like this is my favorite and the best all the way down to nothing like that, but I am going to start off with my favorite, and that is the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It Foundation Plus Concealer. This foundation is so stinking good. If you are not new here, you have seen me rave about this a million times. I have talked about it on my channel. I have used it on countless Get Ready With Me's. It was the foundation I used in that heat proof makeup video I put up a couple weeks ago. This is so good. It is full coverage though. I'm gonna just let you know right there, it is very full coverage. It will cover up everything that you need to cover. It is a little bit more on the matte side, but it's not a drying matte, which I like. I don't mind a matte foundation. I know I said I have a little bit combo skin and I do have dryness, but I still don't mind a matte foundation because on me, they seem to last the best. I just have to find matte foundations that aren't super drying and don't emphasize my dryness on my forehead and my nose. And this one does not do that. When I put this on, my skin looks so good. I have the shade Fair. It is a little bit orangey on me, which is a bummer, but I just kind of put up with it because I love the formulation so much, and this will not budge all day long. I put this on and I set it with powder and setting spray and it does not budge. It looks so good. I can wear this for 10, 12, 14 hours and it looks bomb. I did want to mention though that it does have a scent to it. So if you are sensitive to scents in your makeup products, this probably won't be the one for you. I wish it didn't have the scent, but it's that like tropical sort of scent that a lot of Physicians Formulas products have. So that's a bummer, but I can look past it and it doesn't linger on my skin. I don't smell it after I apply it and rub it in, but this is definitely my favorite and probably the most long lasting of all the ones I'm going to talk to you about. I could not recommend this more. I love this. Next up, we have the Neutrogena Flawless Matte CC Cream, and this I have the shade Shell 1.0. So this says it is a matte CC cream, which I agree with that. It is matte, but what I like about this is you can manipulate this. This is what I used today, but I went in with a more glowy sort of sunscreen, and then I did mix in a product I'm going to mention at the end of the video, so stick around for that. And then I put on the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, which does give a hint of a glow. And if you can see on my skin, like my skin is not a flat matte or anything like that. It has a little bit of sheen and glow to it, which I personally like. If you're curious about any of these foundations or anything else on my face, don't you worry. It will all be listed and linked down below in the description box for you. So definitely check there. But this one just lasts a really long time on my skin. Obviously, that's the point of this video, Emily. But if you are a little bit drier, I think if you went in with a hydrating moisturizer or sunscreen, hydrating primer, I think that that would be a really good way to make this work for you. But if you're oily, it is a little bit more matte, so it's going to work on your skin as well. The shade range isn't the best on this, unfortunately. This is the lightest shade it comes in, and it is still a little bit too dark for me and a little bit orangey toned. I can really only wear this in the summertime when I am self-tanning, and I am self-tanning right now. I don't know if you can tell, but I am. But this is free from oil, fragrance, paraben, phthalates. It has niacinamide in it to help even your skin tone over time using this. I don't think that this gets a lot of hype or attention here on YouTube, and it's a really good one. I think it's a little bit underrated. Then we have the Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. I have the shade 1N00 in this. It is the lightest one that they make. It is a little bit too light for me right at the moment. If I want to go in and use this right now when I'm self-tanning, I do have to mix it in with something, but in the winter, this is a perfect shade for me. This is more on the medium side coverage. So if that is the coverage you prefer, this would definitely be a good option for you. This is one that I don't love how it looks when I first apply it, mainly because of the coverage. It doesn't completely blank out my acne scars or the acne that I have going on. I definitely have to go in and spot conceal and, use a couple extra steps to make myself like this when I first apply it. But it just wears beautifully all day long. I did a first impressions and wear test on this. And like I said, when I first applied it, I was like, I don't know if I like this foundation, guys. Like, I don't know. I was just like really on the fence. But by the end of that video, when I came back for my final check-in, I was shocked with how well this wore. It just doesn't seem to break up really at all on my face. Like I said, everything breaks up on my chin by the end of the day after wearing it for 10-12 hours, but this one doesn't do it a whole ton. It's a little bit thinner of a texture, which I do enjoy. I think that a lot of skin types would like this. I think dry skin would like it and oily skin, which is nice. I love when a foundation can encompass everyone. Also, I have dry and oily skin on my face, so it's nice that it, works for all areas on my face. The shade range on this is amazing. They go from light all the way to pretty deep, so hopefully you'd be able to find your foundation shade on this. It is a little bit pricier, but I personally really do enjoy this. I did pick it up during the Sephora sale, so I got 20% off, but I'm really glad I picked this up, and I have been reaching for it quite often. Another one I picked up during the Sephora sale, not this most recent one, but the one before that back in like November, is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. In this, I have the shade Mont Blanc Light 2. So this one is very, very matte and very full coverage. If you're more oily and like full coverage, this will definitely be a good one for you. I personally don't love to use this one on its own. When I use it on its own, it is a tiny bit drying on me, a little tiny bit too matte for my skin, but I love to mix this. This is a beautiful mixing foundation. Any foundation that I have mixed this with, I love the outcome because it does make it a little bit more matte. It does add coverage to anything I add it to. And because it's so matte, it doesn't seem to break up a ton during the day. It really does sit nicely on the skin and really does just last. I know mixing two foundations together can be kind of a pain. So if you do not want to do that, I totally understand. But I love mixing two foundations. I love taking one thing about a foundation that I just really, really enjoy, and then another thing and mixing them together and making like my perfect little concoction. And this, like I said, just adds coverage, adds matteness, helps whatever foundation I use it with to wear a long time. So this one's a good one. Back to a little bit more medium coverage foundation, and this one is probably the glowiest of all of them, but it's not super glowy or dewy. And it is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. In this, I have the shade Fair 30N. This one is a little bit deep and dark for me in the summertime. I could definitely get away with Fair 20N. I think I said summertime, I meant wintertime. But Fair 30N does work for me most of the time during the year. I can just make it work. Just in case I'm a shade reference for you, like I said, this is a little bit more on the medium coverage, but it does have enough for me. I can build it up on my cheeks and my chin, which is where I need the most coverage, or just add a concealer to it. And this is beautiful. It is a little bit more glowy and hydrating, but not so glowy and hydrating that it doesn't sit well on the skin, it gets oily by the end of the day or breaks up. It really doesn't do that. This is a beautiful foundation, kind of like the Makeup Forever. I think this would work for a lot of different skin types. If you're super, super oily, I don't know if it would work for you. Maybe if you just set it down really nicely. I do have to like really lock in and set this one down. But when I do that, it wears beautifully. This one is currently in my project pan and I am almost done with it, but I definitely plan to repurchase it when I finish it up. Then we have the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. This one is oil-free. This also does have SPF 30 in it, so I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that in case SPF is a sort of ingredient that bothers your skin or breaks you out in makeup or anything like that. And this, I have the shade Opal 130. So this is the original version. I do know they have launched a more like glowy, radiant sort of version. I have not tried that one, but this one is the original. It's more matte. and I really, really like this. It's a little bit thicker of a consistency, but it still blends into the skin really beautifully. It's not a drying matte, kind of like the other matte ones I have explained today. A lot of the times, like I said, I like matte foundations, but I just can't have them be like super drying on the skin. This one definitely isn't. It has a little bit more full coverage, but it's definitely not one of those that's super, super insanely full coverage that's going to blank out everything. This does look really beautiful and almost natural on the skin. You can still tell you're wearing makeup because you're wearing makeup, but it does look very beautiful. I've had this one in my collection for quite a while, definitely over a year, and it has definitely been a really lovely go-to. I haven't been reaching for it a ton here recently, but every time I do pull it out and use it, I always remember how much I love this. If you're a little bit more on the oily side, I think you would really like this. If you're dry, I think you could get away with using this one, but they also have that radiant one, like I said, so maybe you would like that one more. I definitely want to give that one a go eventually, but this is kind of a pricey foundation. It's like $47, so I don't want to like buy the radiant one until I finish this one up, but this one is so good. We have one more to talk about, and then I have an honorable mention for you guys. The last one is the Dior Forever Matte Foundation. In this one, I have the shade 0N. I saved this for last because this is the original formulation. A couple months ago, Dior reformulated their foundations and relaunched their Forever Matte and Forever Glow foundations. I have not tried the reformulated one. However, I still wanted to put this one in here because I've seen a couple other YouTubers talk about the new formulation and say that it is just as good as the old one and they like it just as much, if not more. So I was like, okay, well, I obviously haven't tried the new version, which is what you would be purchasing if you purchase this now. But again, since I've heard they're pretty similar, I wanted to go ahead and include it. I love this foundation. Other than the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It, this is probably the one that wears the best on my skin. If I put this on, let's say at 8 o'clock in the morning, by 10, 11 o'clock at night, it still looks beautiful. It is a little bit more medium coverage. I don't love that. I have to build it up with 2 layers on my cheeks and my chin and then still kind of spot conceal on top of that. But if you like medium coverage, you would absolutely love the coverage of this. Again, it has sunscreen in it. It has SPF 35. But there's just something about this that just blends into my skin so beautifully. Again, it's matte, but it's not drying at all. Even when I am a little bit more dry on my forehead and my nose, this never emphasizes the dry patches. It just blends into my skin so nicely and just wears like a dream. I 1,000,000% plan to purchase the reformulated one when this one is gone, and it is almost gone. I think I have like this much left. Like I have been using this nonstop here recently because when I go to work and I work all day long, this one and the Physicians Formula one, I know I can count on. I know when I wear this, it does not matter how long I have it on, it's gonna look amazing. So I'm definitely gonna repurchase it when I use this one up. I know Dior is expensive, it's bougie, I get it, but if you wanna treat yourself or you just really need a long-lasting foundation, I highly recommend this one. And then really quickly, my honorable mention isn't really a foundation that I wear on its own, but I mix this foundation into everything. I have mixed this into every single one of these foundations that I have tried today, and pretty much every foundation in my collection at this point, and it is the best product. It's like one of my favorite products ever. And you probably know what it is if you watch my videos. It's the Purito Cica Clearing BB Cream. I love this so much. I have the shade number 21 Light Beige and then number 23 Natural Beige. 21 Light Beige is the one that I use pretty much all year round. It has a little bit of a gray undertone, which sounds weird, but I love it. I mentioned quite a few of these run a little bit orangey yellow on me, and this helps color correct it. It just helps give it a beautiful glow as well. And then I also have number 23 Natural Beige. This is the one I use in the summertime to mix into foundations to help darken them and help them match me a little bit more as I get sun and then as I'm self-tanning. This says that it is a healthy looking glow, flawless coverage, UVA and UVB protection, and it is fragrance free as well. I could not recommend this more to you guys. It is absolutely stunning. The healthy looking glow, 1,000,000% correct. This gives a beautiful glow to my skin whenever I add it into foundations. I did add the 21 Light Beige into the Neutrogena one today, so that is another reason why I feel like I have a little bit healthier of a look. It's not super matte, but even though this does give a tiny bit of glow to your skin, your foundation, whatever you're using it with, it does not look oily or greasy, and it does not break it up. The flawless coverage is another really beautiful claim about this. You can use this on its own, and I have before, and it's beautiful on its own as well. I just love mixing this into anything. It just makes it look beautiful, glowy, helps with coverage, helps color correct, helps make it last a long time. If you want to try anything from this video, I recommend this. to everyone. Anyone and everyone. I love it. I love it. I love it. Also the Physicians Formula, and then the Forever Matte one. Well, this one is technically gone. Okay, these two. I don't know. I love them all. That's why I have them in here. But these two are my jam, my favorites. Love them so much. And that was it, you guys. That was some of my longest wearing foundations. I wanted to definitely make this video and let you guys know about them since we are coming up on summertime. All of these wear very beautifully all year round, but especially in the summer. Let me know down below what your favorite long-lasting foundation is. I'm always on the hunt for a good foundation. It is one of my favorite things to try out makeup-wise, so I would love any of your guys' suggestions below. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. You're awesome and I love you. Please subscribe if you have not yet, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.